I'm that addict, man. I'm talking about as a child, man, I had some strange behaviors. I had strange mannerisms. I did some crazy stuff, man. Right? I'm going to share something with y'all. Again, just let the spirit just flow. I'm going to share something with y'all I ain't never shared with nobody. Only in West Virginia. Right? Kid, man. About 5 years old. Seen a woman on TV. She on a dress. Guess what I did, man? I stood on my head. They tried to look up under it. My mama knocked me down. Well, get out. And I still, to this day, can't figure out why you can't. I suffer from a disease. This don't got nothing to do with no dope. Right? So I'm that addict, man. I ain't never been fingerprinted. I ain't never been handcuffed. I have never been in the back of a police car. You talk jail, I don't know nothing about it. Reason why I'm sharing this, because I qualify. See, I came to Narcotics Anonymous thinking I had a drug problem. It's very important that I emphasize that, because the drugs brought me to Narcotics Anonymous. I understand that. My unmanageability brought me to Narcotics Anonymous. I understand that. But what I'm trying to find out, what took me to the drugs? What took me to the drugs, right? We talk about spiritual, not religious program. We talk about the 12 steps. Right? I'm at a sponsor thing, man. Asked this older member in Cincinnati, where respect, I had about 6 days clean. Right? I walk up to him because everybody, you know what I mean? They all, like they would put people on pedestals here. So anyway, a guy sneak in, we sitting there, sneak in, he sit by me. He's like, Vern, scoot over. He said, I need y'all network. He said, but he said, I come to hear such and such share. I said, who is such and such? He said, you don't know who such and such is? I said, the question is, do he know who I am? That's the question, So anyway, I see him, I go up to him, I said, man, can I ask you a question, man? I only got 6 days clean. Can you share some experience, strength, and hope on what you would suggest an addict do with 6 days clean? He said, how did you get 6 days clean? I said, well, I read a lecture. I called my sponsor. I made meetings. He said, hold up. Let me help you out a little bit. He said, you got 6 days clean by not using no drugs. He said, there's a difference between clean time and recovery. He said, but here's what I suggest to you. He said, tap into the spiritual part of the program. If there's any newcomers in here, I'm going to share with y'all what this addict so freely gave to me. Tap into the spiritual part of the program. There's a lot of addicts in recovery, but they're not practicing the program. The program is the 12 steps. Okay? And this is what he told me. He said, and when you practice this program, when you start doing the 12 steps, you're going to come full circle. He said, you know what I mean by that? I said, no. He said, what I mean by that, there was a Vernon before you ever used drugs who had dreams, aspiration, desire, natural gift that your higher power have given you. He said, when you do the 12 steps, you're going to get that back and more. Right? I never forget that. So I kept using. Right? So when I was young, man, it wasn't that hard for me, man. What I'm trying to say, as a kid, I hear my uncles and stuff say, like, everything this boy touch turns to gold. Okay? My mother used to say, this boy is an exception to the rule. My sister say, he's like that because he's left-handed. You know what I mean? And left-handed guys, they just catch on like that. Right? So when I'm getting, one time I'm in elementary school, and I'm writing, then I switch hands. Start writing with my right hand. Right? Because I'm that addict. I need a challenge. So I'm writing with my right hand. Writing good, too. Teacher come up. Vernon, give me one good reason why you're left-handed and you're sitting here writing with your right hand. I said, because I already know how to write with my left hand. Right? I'm that kid, my mother told me that they tried to move me up. So I was advanced, man. I was advanced. I'm not gonna lie. I catch on real quick. And that's it. And you know, say it. You're smart. Right? Another time with PTA, whatever, when the mother come talk to the teachers. I'm messing around, doing what I do. I never went in there with mom now. Right? I never did that. So anyway, mom came out and said, Vernon, every teacher that I talked to said you can be a straight A student. I said, oh, Mom, I knew that. That ain't nothing. She said, well, why wouldn't you want to be a straight A student? I said, because they talk about people who are smart. At a very young age. I'm not talking about dope. I'm talking about God-given ability made me feel different. Because now I grew up in the hood. See, and I can understand why dude is 2 plus 2. That's all it is. Oh, bro, you don't understand. Yeah, I do. It's 2 plus 2. But you know, so what happened is that even though, see, you don't have to have a real crazy background to qualify for this program, man. Okay? Because I didn't use that, like the other addicts shared before me. I didn't use dope to get high when I first started. I used dope to feel normal. That's why I used dope. I wanted to fit in because my natural God ability began to separate me, man. Okay? I began to get separated. Now I'm lost. Now I got to fit in with everybody else. So if you want to fit in, you got to do what they do. So I started getting high. And I was all right with getting high, but I didn't know my history. See, I didn't know my history. What you mean your history? I didn't know my DNA. I didn't know that my mother was an alcoholic. I didn't know when she found out that she was pregnant with me, she went cold turkey. I didn't know that. I didn't know that when my brothers came home and jumped on my mother, right? So I had brothers that was alcohol I was raised around that. I was raised around my brothers and them coming home jumping on my mother. So I remember this thing. Talk about my brothers. I'm not talking about no dude, no boy. I'm talking about my brothers. They did something to me, bro. And I wonder why I went around the hood mad as a kid. Smart. Straight A. We ain't gonna talk about sports. We ain't gonna talk about that yet. Right? So a little bitty guy. Elementary. I'm this big as I've been. I'm in elementary playing football with guys in high school. That's how much I excelled in that. Basketball. Baseball. Right? That's what I did, man. Right? But these things were just natural to me. So anyway, man, I grew up in Avondale, man. Right? And I'm recovering from my environment. I'm recovering from what I told myself. I'm recovering from when I get on the block and Sick Bob say, look, man, where you from, bro? I'm from here. We ain't no punks over here. Right? Bam, bam, hit me all in my chest. Right? These are normal things, man. When I'm talking about I'm playing football, my whole arm getting I can't even feel. My brother, move, leave me alone. Grab me. Football players don't cry. Very young age, I learned how to suppress my feelings. See, again, I ain't talking about dope. I'm just talking about how I learned how to, my environment, ain't no punks, men don't cry. I was confused, man. If there's a God and I have feelings, why can't I express them? Because, we ain't going to be no punks over here, So now I grow up, man, like I said, I'm playing these sports, man, and I'm doing all these things. And then at a young age, I start getting these headaches, man. Just getting these headaches, man. Then my mom take me to the hospital. We're in the hospital. I'm laying on the floor with this, like somebody had my vice, my heel was in a vice. They was just, you know what I mean? They was just in a vice, and I was crying. And, doctor come out. Try to call another lady. She said, no, look at him. Then they take me in. Doctor run all these tests on me. Said, well, can't find nothing. Then he finally came in and he said, you got a girl pregnant or something? I was like, yeah, how you know? He said, man, look, man. This is what the doctor said. He said, look, we make mistakes in life. We make mistakes. But ain't nobody. You can die from tension headaches. Right? You can die from tension. But that's how much I worry. And worry is a character defect. Right? I'm talking about how the literature talks about addicts have a problem with reality. It said for most part, our perception wasn't based in reality. I have always lived in an illusion, man. I always live in an illusion. You know, so I find out I got these headaches, man. They take care of me, so I got this son now. Got this son, man. But I'm still on the block, representing. But this is a spiritual, not religious program. So I'm telling me, get off this block. Get off this block. You don't belong here. See, even though you can go to my hood right now, and they say, V was one of the wildest brothers out. But see, they don't know the real version. I was fronting, man. Yeah, I was fighting, but there was a front. I fought every day. And they'll tell you, he's a knockout artist. They used to take me around the hood, little. Making bets on me, man, getting paid. Right? But I go home. Where you by yourself, the real you show up. And I'm crying. I'm praying to a God that I don't even know. Like, why do I have to live like this? Right? I never lived my truth, man. I always lived a double life. I always lived the life on the edge. Because I could. See, when I was in school, I hung with people who were smart. When I went back to the hood, I rode with people who was killers. I wasn't no killer, but I rode with people who was killers. So I always had this, the literature talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Bro, when I read that, I knew I qualified. I'm in the 7th grade, man. 7th grade. Good grades, everything. I'm coming home. Right? And you know, when I grew up, mothers didn't have to say much to you. I don't know about y'all. My mother just give me a look. Anybody in my y'all might know about the look. Right? My mother she ain't had to say things, but a certain thing was going to be done. You're gonna come home, you're gonna do your homework. After you do your homework, you're gonna clean up your room. Right? Then after because I did good at school, I come home, do good at home. So now guess what? Now I deserve to treat myself. See, I suffer from what I tell myself. The addict, she was just sharing about our thinking. Right? When you do this literature, you do this work, you don't have nothing to do with no dope, man. Dope is what got me here. It's my thinking. Clean, that can cause me my harm. So I go up on Red Road. Then I go behind this called Red Barns. I go behind there, right? All back there was hobos. They was homeless. We call them hobos. So I find this hobo named Smitty. Old man Smitty. I was like, what's up, man? Hey, man, give me a fifth for MD 2020. He's like, all right, little bro, how much I get? You know, now, follow me. I'm getting straight A's, getting straight B's, excelling in sports, doing everything my mother said, but I'm hanging with a hobo. Something's wrong with that, man. Something's wrong with that. You know what I mean? So now I'm sitting there, and one day I go to this old man Smitty. He said, man, I heard you're a straight A student, bro. Now I'm mad, right? Because I'm living a secret life. But this secret life has already came into, I'm like, dude, don't worry about what I can do in school. Don't worry, dude, you just buy the liquor. You know, I'm a little bitty dude. So he buying liquor. This is what old man Smitty said. Old man Smitty said, look, one day, this life you living, this double life, they gonna meet. Well, I'm about 13 years old, he told me. He said, then you're gonna have to make a decision who you really want to be.